Okay, let's dive right into this. We are tackling a topic today in this explainer that has, let's be honest, frustrated almost every single one of us at some point. You meet someone, you hit it off, you spend a ton of time together, and then you hear those absolute dreaded words. You know the ones. You are just such a great friend. Bam, you're in the friend zone. To figure out exactly where things go wrong, we're going to follow the story of a classic dating misstep through the eyes of a guy we'll call Alex, and we'll look at the actual psychology behind the friend zone.
So what if the friend zone isn't bad luck, but actual psychology? This question completely reframes how we look at dating, right? Because we tend to treat the friend zone like it's this mystical curse that just descends upon us randomly, or maybe a sign that the universe literally just doesn't want us to be happy. But the truth found in psychological research is a lot more predictable. It's not cosmic bad luck at all. It's really just the human brain functioning exactly as it's wired to do. Which is honestly incredibly frustrating when you realize your own brain is actively working against your love life.
Section 1. The split-second brain decision. First impressions matter. Okay, so imagine Alex. Alex meets someone great. In those absolute first moments, literally before Alex even realizes what's happening, that person's brain is doing an incredible amount of background processing to figure out exactly where he fits into their social world. It immediately categorizes Alex into one of two very strict, distinct buckets. He's either filed away as a potential romantic partner, or he's filed away as just a friend. It's a rapid, almost completely binary choice. There's no, maybe we'll see how funny he is in 6 months category in the brain's initial filing system. It just doesn't exist. And according to psychologists, once your brain creates that first impression, it is extremely hard to change it later. Think of it like pouring concrete. While it's wet, you can shape it however you want, right? But once that categorization sets, man, chipping away at it requires an immense amount of effort. If Alex doesn't show his romantic intent while the concrete is still wet, that just a friend label sets rock hard. This rigid psychological mechanism is exactly what traps so many people. Moving on to Section 2, the classic dating mistake, the trap of the nice guy strategy. Let's look at Alex's painful timeline here, because this is the story of how that initial friend categorization becomes a permanent prison. So in week 1, Alex meets someone he really likes, but he's scared of rejection. Totally understandable. So what does he do? He acts like a friend and completely hides his romantic intentions. The brain sees this and says, got it, filed under just a friend. Fast forward to month 2. Alex is deep in the trenches now, acting as an unpaid therapist, providing constant emotional support and solving problems. Finally, month 6 rolls around. Alex is sitting there, silently suffering, doing literally all the work of a partner without any of the romance, secretly hoping that attraction will just magically appear out of thin air as a reward for his loyalty. Which brings us to Section 3, the mere exposure effect, the science of backfiring. The core culprit here is the mere exposure effect. It's a psychological phenomenon where seeing someone often makes them more familiar to you. Now, Alex's strategy relies heavily on this. His logic is essentially, if I hover around every single day and make myself constantly available, they'll eventually fall for me. But psychology tells us that being constantly available doesn't actually breed attraction. Alex thought he was building romantic tension, right? But he was really just making himself part of the background furniture. Section 4. Comfort versus attraction, the sibling zone. We really have to draw a hard line here between familiar comfort and actual romantic attraction. Yes, for sure, seeing Alex every day creates familiarity. And that familiarity creates a deep, deep sense of comfort, kind of like a favorite reliable couch. But comfort isn't a spark. In fact, in the early stages of getting to know someone, too much comfort can actively extinguish the mystery and the tension required for romantic attraction to even exist in the first place. The consequences of creating all that comfort are honestly severe if your goal is romance. By leaning way too hard into being the comfortable, always available problem solver, Alex hasn't built a romance, he's built a sibling dynamic. He essentially becomes family. And no way, once you hit that sibling vibe, the romantic potential is just completely killed. It takes that initial just a friend categorization from the very first time you met, and it just pours another thick layer of concrete over the whole shebang, cementing you in the friend zone pretty much forever. So, Section 5. Make your intentions clear. Escaping the trap. The takeaway from the research we're going through in this explainer is incredibly straightforward. Do not hide your intentions for months like Alex did. If you like someone, you have to signal to their brain that you belong in the potential romantic partner category on day one. You just cannot masquerade as a platonic friend, provide months of emotional support, and then expect their brain to suddenly rewrite its fundamental categorization of you later on. It just doesn't work that way. The absolute reality is the longer you act like a friend, the harder it becomes for them to see you as anything else. Every single day you spend playing the comfortable, platonic problem solver, you are actively training their brain to never see you romantically. So I want you to ask yourself the next time you meet someone new, are you actually sparking a romance, or are you just pouring wet concrete over your own chances?